And welcome to Dollars and Cents. I'm your host, Heather Sullivan, and I really want to thank you for joining us. I've been hearing more from you that the show is helping you to save money, and of course, that's what we're all about. So please keep those questions and comments coming. I've been gathering the best consumer reporting from our Fox stations across the country, all to empower you financially. Today, we're already hearing about people struggling with student loan payments or confusing statements on how much you owe. We're going to help you sort it out and find payment plans to fit into your budget. More lenders are using artificial intelligence to determine whether you get a loan or a credit card. And did you know it is pouring over your social media posts? Yes. And the places that you go. Yeah, I've got your attention now, right? Well, Costco is offering low-cost healthcare appointments through a platform that lets you skip insurance to pay less. And I'm going to show you how it works. And Halloween costumes, candy, and decorations, they can all scare the money right out of your wallet. But have no fear, we've got ways to tame the Halloween budget killers. But now that student loan repayments have resumed after that 3-year pause, some borrowers are already saying that they're getting conflicting statements about how much they owe, or they're getting stuck on hold with the loan servicers, or even have their calls dropped. In fact, there have been so many complaints, 19 attorneys general wrote to the Department of Education saying, hey, we're concerned that this confusion could hurt borrowers. Now, the average payment is between $200 and $300, but I know many people are expecting to pay hundreds more every month. Fox's Don Hasbrook has a look at the impact that this is having on borrowers and the new repayment plans and ways to find money to make your payments.
It sucks. Like, that's as plain and simple as it is. It's scary, and I wish that it was different.
She's not the only college grad who feels that way about the government resuming payments on the student loans it has issued.
I still owe over $8,000. I'm not able to pay $8,000 out of pocket to be able to go to school now.
If you don't like those numbers, wait until you see your payment slip.
As an undergraduate on the federal loan side, you're looking at about $245, $275 a month in a new payment if you don't sign up for IDR. If you're a graduate student with graduate and undergraduate debt, you're probably looking about $500.
If you are a married couple where both of you went to graduate school, your loan payment may be the same as your mortgage payment. That's if you don't take advantage of what's called IDR, or income-driven repayment programs. They are offered by either your loan servicer or the U.S. Department of Ed. How do you sign up for one?
It's best to go on www.studentaid.gov and use their calculators that they have there and see what programs you actually qualify for.
If you don't qualify for those programs based on your income, you still have other options to help you manage your student loan payment.
So what you want to do is consolidate your federal loans into one payment if you haven't done that already. And if you do that, you'll be able to extend the term, which will lower the monthly payment. It'll also help you from a credit perspective of getting a better credit score.
Make sure you are paying your loan with pre-tax dollars, which Wallace says you can do.
There's a little provision buried in the CARES Act, and that permits the student loan repayment of $5,250 per tax year in pre-tax dollars. Very few of the corporations are offering it, less than 10%. Go to Human Resources tomorrow, ask them if they have the program. If they don't have it, tell them to sign up for it. It's in the CARES Act, and it's in the IRS code, section 127.
Next, you need to take a good hard look at the terms of your loan and your budget.
We can't make a plan until we actually understand what's going on in our financial lives. So even if it is uncomfortable, and it undoubtedly will be if this is something you have not looked at for a while, I do need you to sit down and get honest with yourself without the shame and judgment, and then start putting a plan together.
When it comes to your budget, experts say you need to look at everything, even something as small as an extra DVR cable box.
Sure, it's maybe only a $4, $5, or $6 a month savings, but when you find a little bit of savings here and there, it really adds up and can give you some extra room in your budget to put towards your student loan payments. I would also look at your insurance premiums. Have they gone up over the years?
Warrock says you could see some serious savings just by switching companies, and all it takes is a quick search online. She also says another good place to look for quick savings in your budget is food.
Look at your grocery spend. How much are you spending each month? Are you able to cut back a little? Are you throwing food away? I would recommend adopting a meal plan strategy. Also, try to cut back a few takeout orders each week. It's going to help you save a lot each month.
Once you've figured out how to come up with the money for your monthly student loan payment, make a plan to keep that plan in place.
There's Mint, Pocket Guard. These would be really good apps to use to track your budget moving forward because they link all your financial accounts and bills in one place. So it just gives you a snapshot of how you're doing each month to make sure you're not overspending in any one category.
Great advice. That was Don Hasbrook reporting for us. Now, this next piece is a story that I covered recently, and it really got people talking. Artificial intelligence is changing the game on how we're all approved for loans, credit cards, and mortgages. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau reports that more lenders are using AI to evaluate a lot more about us than just our credit reports. Some are scraping information from the internet, and we are talking everything. We're talking your social media posts. We're talking the places that you go, all tracked by your cell phone.
Data aggregation and consumer surveillance has been going on forever in every industry, unbeknownst to the average consumer, and it's been being used in underwriting for a long time. What AI is doing now is it's giving us even more data.
That's right. When you apply for a loan, a credit card, or a mortgage, more lenders are using artificial intelligence to evaluate your credit worthiness on much more than just your credit history. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau reports many lenders are using AI to gather what's called alternative data, like your cash flow and bill paying history from things like your bank accounts, cell phone bills, rent history, and insurance claims, and to gather what's called big data or fringe data, often from social media, like your browsing history, shopping habits, occupation, education, and places you visit tracked by your cell phone.
People would say, why would my Facebook page have an impact on an application for a loan? Well, maybe you've mentioned bankruptcy, a bunch of times. Maybe the phone tracking, right? Location devices, location data is a big part of this. And look, unfortunately, maybe you were checking into an addiction clinic every morning.
That's why the CFPB is reminding lenders that when AI has denied a loan application or reduced someone's credit card limit, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act still requires the lender to inform consumers of the specific reason so they can correct or improve the situation and to help prevent discrimination.
The consumer has a right to know why there was a negative decision. And what were the factors that went into that? Well, we're not going to get that right now through AI.
Yeah, so if you are denied for credit or a loan and you don't receive that specific explanation, contact the lender and ask for one. You can also file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And if you don't want to be tracked quite so much, you can delete your browsing history. You can adjust your privacy settings on all of your platforms. And just be careful about what you're posting about yourself or your family online. You can limit some of what's online about you, but likely not everything. Now, here is a big way to help you save money on healthcare. Costco is now offering members online health checkups for just $29. So they're partnering with Sesame. It's a healthcare marketplace that connects consumers directly with medical providers for a cash price. Sesame says that it keeps its prices low by not accepting insurance. Costco says that mental health visits are also available. So what exactly is Sesame? Well, I actually reported on it when it launched in the Houston area back in 2020. It's an online healthcare marketplace of doctors who offer their services for that set cash price, often less than what you would pay with insurance. Let's say you need an MRI and you have insurance.
If you go to many facilities for an MRI, you'll be quoted a price that can be in excess of $2,000.
But if you're uninsured or have high deductible insurance, you can instead pay a set price directly through Sesame.
If you're willing to pay up front and directly are looking at somewhere between $275 and $450. That's a massive savings and from a a great clinician. So
Sesame is an online marketplace with about 100 Houston medical providers in a wide array of fields. The site vets the doctors. Patients can see prices up front and book an appointment to see the doctor online or in person.
people come from everything for telemedicine appointments, which you'll often see priced as little as $25 or $35, to regular primary care appointments, to all sorts of tests and diagnostics.
Many of these providers already accept direct pay patients, like radiologist Dr. Kristen Dickerson.
We're able to save self-pay patients, sometimes 70%, even greater, from hospital-based imaging prices.
And the site helps doctors fill appointments left vacant during the pandemic.
This gives them the opportunity to fill those appointments and get cash flow in. This is money the same week, not 6 to 8 weeks down the line, like with the traditional insurers.
Sesame lets doctors cut that red tape and helps patients get the care they need.
A good alternative for people to find care when they don't have coverage. But most of our customers actually do have coverage, just the deductibles are so high or the cost sharing is so high that we wind up being a better option for them.
And you'll find a link to learn more about Sesame and the new Costco program on Sullivan Smart Sense on Fox26Houston.com. Now let's talk about skip lagging. I'm sure you've heard this term. Maybe you've even tried it. Travelers sometimes use it to save money on plane tickets. But you also need to understand that airlines are cracking down on it, and one is even suing an app that helps people do it. Skip lagging allows passengers to find cheaper flights by planning to deplane in their destination during a layover rather than pay more for a direct flight. The passenger just skips the next leg of the trip. American Airlines is now suing an app that helps people do this. It's called Skip Lagged. The airline claims that Skip Lag tricks consumers into believing that they can tap into some kind of secret loophole. Skip lagging is not illegal, but airlines say it violates their policies and it can have consequences. So a teenager was on his way home to Charlotte, North Carolina by himself when he was pulled aside by security, and then his trip was canceled after gate agents figured out he was skip lagging. So Fox's Marlisa Goldsmith has the story.
It was the first time Logan Parsons flew by himself.
We've used skip lagged almost exclusively for the last 5 to 8 years. Booked a flight from Gainesville Regional to JFK via Charlotte.
Hunter Parson felt his son would be okay, but once at the airport in Gainesville with his North Carolina driver's license, the gate agent was skeptical of his final destination.
Interrogated a little bit, ultimately taken to a security room. They kind of got out of him that he was planning to disboard, in Charlotte, was not going to make the connecting flight.
The Parsons weren't aware hidden city ticketing or skip lagging was frowned upon in the airline industry. An American Airlines representative canceled the ticket and made the family purchase a new direct flight ticket.
Our concerns were that he's a minor and was kind of left to fend for himself several states away.
First time he's flown and really doesn't know what he's doing, and it seemed to be a bit harsh to me. I just don't understand why they would do this.
Aviation attorney Bruce Brandon says airlines have been cracking down on hidden city ticketing. In 2018, German carrier Lufthansa brought a lawsuit against a passenger, but later dropped it. Brandon believes there's a big question that needs to be answered.
And was he held against his will in that back room?
In a statement, American Airlines says purchasing a ticket without intending to fly all flights to gain lower fares is a violation of American Airlines terms and conditions and is outlined in our conditions of carriage online. Our customer relations team has been in touch with the customer to learn more about their experience.
I think it's a stern warning that, hey, this is frowned upon. If you do it again, there would be consequences, financial penalties. But to put a minor in that situation was really the reason that we have concern.
So consider yourself warned. Okay, if you have a college-age student, you would normally be able to start filling out the FAFSA form in October. But this year you have to wait until December, and that's because there are some big changes. We're talking about the free application for federal student aid. And the changes may actually mean that some families will pay more for college, especially those with multiple children in college. while others will pay less.
The FAFSA Simplification Act means big changes to the FAFSA form this year. First, fewer questions, from 100 down to 50, as more data can be pulled from your IRS forms. The expected family contribution is being replaced with the Student Aid Index, or SAI. It estimates how much families can pay for a student's education. The break on the SAI families receive for having multiple students in college is gone, which may leave some families paying more.
Before, that would be evenly divided amongst all children. So if you had 3 children, you divide 20,000 by 3, and that's what your number is. But now they took that discount away for having multiple students. So now it's 20,000, 20,000, 20,000.
Students of divorced or separated parents must report the income of the parent who provides the most financial support, rather than simply the parent they live with.
So separated household, you only need to claim one parent on that FAFSA, but now it's who has more money, so that student aid index is going to be greater.
But some income won't be considered in the SAI.
The student can now earn up to $9,000 a year without being penalized.
And some untaxed income, like living allowances for service members or gifts from grandparents, won't be counted either.
Grandma and grandpa can also gift the family money, which is untaxed income, and it's no longer a penalty. So before they used to count that.
So due to all of these changes, the FAFSA filing period won't open until December, but students should file as early as possible when it does open, as some need-based aid is first come, first served. And other changes this year that you want to note are some students may automatically qualify for the maximum Pell Grant if their household income and family size meet federal poverty guidelines. Well, if you are a Fortnite player, you definitely want to listen up, especially you Gen Z viewers. This is for you. The Federal Trade Commission is notifying more than 37 million people that they're eligible for compensation from the maker of that video game. Epic Games Incorporated was found liable for tricking players of the Fortnite game into making unintended purchases. As a result, the company will refund $245 million back to customers who were charged for the unwanted items. Consumers have until January 17th to submit a claim for a refund. Now, the amount of the payment will depend on how many people file claims, and the FTC is sending emails to millions of players about this. But to register, you can also go to FortniteRefund.com. You must be 18, and you're going to need your account ID number. You're eligible for a refund if you were charged for items that you didn't want between 2017 and 2022, or your account was locked after you complained about wrongful charges, or if your child made charges to your credit card for Fortnite in 2017 or 2018. Okay, Halloween is just around the corner, and the National Retail Federation expects consumers to spend a record $12 billion this year. That's an average of $108 per ghost and goblin, or per living consumer. So Fox's Steve Noviello scared up some deals on some of the big ticket items.
Lots of help today, so let's get right to it, starting with this guy right here, 12 feet tall. This is from Party City. It's their light up towering pumpkin. Huge impact, adjustable volume so you can control your spooky. 4 phrases, lights, and movement. You can use it indoors or sheltered outside. Pair it with his best buddy, the drop-down scarecrow. This is more than 8 feet tall, light-up talking animatronic that actually will jump down at you. What I love about both of these is that they can be controlled by an optional step pad, so they only scare the trick-or-treaters who choose to animate them. This is the spellcasting witch from the Home Depot. The price point here, less than $100, which would have been unheard of just a few years ago for something of this detail and quality. Head and mouth move, bright LED eyes. Big impact, small budget. Take a look at this spider. I love these. You put them on the outside of the house and make it look like your house is being attacked by giant spiders. And this pumpkin I really like because it's one and done. Works with water, so there's no need to add a bottle of that liquid fog. You fill it with water, it runs for 6 hours. We added this. How about pumpkin spice fog scent, which you can use with the fog stuff or with the water to make your whole house smell like the holidays. Harry Potter fans, you're going to want to grab one of these. It's the Book of Monsters, just like from the movie, animated when activated by sound, motion, or push button. We've also got the Harry Potter light up head wig over here. All right, how many of you have seen those giant 12-foot skeletons on your neighbor's lawns and think, where do they store these things? How about his little brother, 3 feet tall from Home Depot, still has posable arms, LED eyes, so really a nice way to have a cool impact without the huge storage space. Down here, this is from Art Glow. This is all year long, folks. A solar powered sign for your yard, so no need to charge it or even turn it on and off. It's automatic. More than 1,000 different prints to swap out on the board each season. And because you don't have to run power to it, you can place it anywhere you want. And finally, how about big impact, small storage? For less than 70 bucks, this LED giant size inflatable ghost is 9 feet tall. But my favorite part about it, take a look at the box it comes in. Smaller than the size of my kitchen blender, right? So you pop it in here when you're done, you put it away, and don't have to worry about having a huge space to let it collect dust until the next Halloween rolls around. Thanks to all these products right now. Facebook.com/SaveMeSteve. And of course, when you come see us on our station website.
Boy, the solar powered sign, that looks really cool. Well, we all know that the cost of buying all that candy for the trick-or-treaters, and of course the candy that we eat too, that all starts to creep up. So Fox's Amelia Jones found some ways to make it a little less frightful.
Whether you are Team Snickers or Team Hershey's, it's going to cost you more this Halloween season. According to the Bureau of Labor, candy is up 13% this year. Sugar and other sweets up 14%. I spoke to the Better Business Bureau of Wisconsin about some tips and tricks to get the biggest bang for your buck. The BBB advises people to buy a variety pack of candy instead of the individual candy bags. Then when it comes to handing out candy for trick-or-treaters, maybe ration it down to just 1 or 2 pieces instead of letting kids grab a handful. Also, don't be afraid to go to multiple stores or check prices online to find the best deals. Plus, maybe this year you hand out candy as a group.
I think really the best tip that I've heard this year is to team up with friends. You know, if you share a driveway or you're in the same neighborhood, you know, put a couple lawn chairs out, you know, put your candy together, and that will certainly stretch both budgets and candy bowls a lot further.
We know you can't have Halloween without costumes, so if you're heading out to buy that last-minute item, the BBB wants everyone to still shop smart. So if you're going to a seasonal pop-up store, make sure you ask about the return policy. And if you're buying anything online, the BBB wants to remind people to use a credit card. That way, if you do find yourself as a victim of a scam from a fake website, you'll have the best chance to dispute it. Reporting in Wauwatosa, Amelia Jones, Fox 6 News.
Great advice. And that's our show for this week. You'll find more ways to save on Sullivan Smart Sense on fox26houston.com. And the show is for you. If you have a money question or a topic that you want us to dive into, just drop me a line on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. It's all Heather Sullivan, Fox 26. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Dollars and Cents.